Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on? It's Space Cowboy here. Welcome to the introductory episode, or however you wish to refer to it as, for Cowboys After Hours. So, going to try and do this once or twice a week. You know, it might not be on a set schedule. However, I'll let you know way ahead of time when videos will be coming out. So today we're going to be doing a 3-round mock draft, and it's, generic 3-round mock draft. Now, keep in mind, we'll do a go over of where the Cowboys are at, what they've done, and really, what we're looking at. And right now we're looking at best player available. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. They have gone out and gotten a wide receiver 2. Or, if you think that Michael Gallup's wide receiver 2, then wide receiver 3 in Brandon Cooks. You got a cornerback 2 in Stephon Gilmore. You just brought back Dante Fowler, and you're most likely going to be bringing back Jonathan Hankins, which is a great signing. And then you bring back, C.J. Goodwin and company, and you just signed Ronald Jones and Chuma Idonga. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I could be wrong there, even his name in general. So the Cowboys have been doing their thing, adding some depth pieces, and really it's all wide open for what they could do at pick 26 and going forward. So if they do elect to add more players or start re-signing more of their guys or even give out extensions, now they're really cooking, because if you're not going to go out and get a Bobby Wagner, or some people have thrown out Calais Campbell's name, which, okay, that's fine, but if I'm being real with you guys, I just don't see that happening. So, with that being said, let me just go ahead and introduce who's in the chat box here today. And let's see what we got. We got Marquise. How's it going? Let's go. Chris K.A. Space. We got an absolute steal for Fowler. Yes. Richard Wilson. What's going on? I still want Torrance. Okay. Travis Frederick Company. What is up? The Joneses are cooking Alfredo and not the leftovers. What a comment indeed. Yes, I do agree. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to comment, it is set to subscribers only, just to make sure that no, ridiculous nonsense goes on. We have 31 people watching right now. If you have not done so, please hit the like button. That'd be greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you are new. And on top of that, if you want to support the channel further, we have the members goal for us to get to the NFL draft. We got, almost a month now. I can't believe the draft is coming out. So we're going to try and get to 10 members on the channel. We got 2 right now. You'll get shout-outs in the videos at the end of them. You will get the little green marker next to your name and the icon, and that also goes to the comments. So if you want to support the channel further, by all means. But with that being said, I think I saw someone else. Weapon X88, what's going on, my man? Hopefully everyone's having a great day here today. I mean, I have not been happier with this Cowboys front office right now. So I think it's now time for us to start our mock draft, because I have limited time on my end, that's for sure. So leave your comments for the end of the video. I'll get into some questions at the end. So let me go ahead and get the screen share up. Let me just make sure everything's all good here. And you guys can see that A-okay. And I think the chat's messed up. There we go. Let me go to move that up there. Sometimes it does that. A lot of things still work in progress, of course. But I do want to add this, and then we'll get started. I did add this to a podcast playlist. I'm not sure how YouTube is going to be going about that. So it's kind of a unique experience with what I think they started this probably a month ago. So I'm going to be working with that there. So if you want to catch the VOD live streams, like if you have to go out and do something and you want to come back, by all means, you can come back and listen to that through the Cowboys After Hour podcast playlists. So let me go ahead and get ourselves here. If we could sign Wagner, this will be the best free agency we've had in a while. I mean, right now you can argue that this is the best free agency we've had in quite some time. I actually forgot to do one last thing before we begin, so bear with me for one last second here, and then we'll begin. Again, this should not take the longest. By the way, every one of you guys have been fantastic with the support. Hold on, sorry. I'm trying to get the comment here so I could post this and tag it. Where's the... What's going on? Shakes the Finest. We'll be getting started just shortly. This damn thing. 40 people watching, you know, that's pretty good. So I'm going to paste this. This is going to be the link to subscribe. And also, if you want to become a channel member today, you can click the link and it will take you to where you can become a media member where you'll get shout outs and stuff like that. Hankins would fit. Yep. That's Richard. What's going on, Eric? Sup, man? Let's go Cowboys. I'm hard Cowboys fan. Thanks for your content. Hey, I greatly appreciate it. You know, I love every single one of you for the support. So, and I'll hear your notifications as we go through. If I don't, I'm going to double check. So, let's go ahead and let's get this thing rolling. So we're going to go with the Dallas Cowboys right over here. We are going to go with a relatively slower speed. We'll keep kind of the same things. Usually this is just fine. I've gone through a couple mock drafts, and I'm glad they kind of redid this because it makes it a little bit more realistic because the draft is a bit random, and you don't know what the hell can happen. So let's go ahead and let's get started here. We will have the ability to trade up and down, but I don't think the Cowboys are going to do that, but they have the flexibility to do that, so keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and let's get started here. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Jalen Carter. I'm going to pause right now for a second because I want to talk about that. So from what we're indicating, we know it's going to be a quarterback probably with the first two picks. But then Jalen Carter, I don't expect him to go high as that. I think he'll fall a bit. I would actually be shocked if he gets taken that early. So while we wait, let me go ahead and go through some comments. Funny what all in means for your scout, right? Love your channel, bro. You should pair up with other Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I'm going to try and use this live streaming format as a way to pair up. So that's something I'm going to be working with Cole's Cowboys on Thursday, and I'm going to try and get some guys to come out on here today. That's right, Eric, and I don't have to worry about it. That's right, my man. So there's that. So let's keep this rolling. Right ticks away. There goes Dalton Kincaid. So let me just see where we're at. Jordan Addison, Paris Johnson. Nothing out of the ordinary here. I can definitely see the draft falling this way. So let's just keep it going. JC Cowboy Network, how's it going? We're just doing ourselves a little 3-round mock draft here today. And if you're following on the VOD and watching it, thank you so much for the support, guys. There goes BJ Robinson. Okay. So let's talk about where the Cowboys are at right now. So Jackson Smith and Jigba doesn't get there. He's a guy that the Cowboys really like from what I've had conversations with. But let's take a look and see what they have available. So I would say to you right now, the Dallas Cowboys' biggest need is beefing up the offensive line long term. A defensive lineman, like an interior, like a one tech more specifically, but you can get that later. And I mean, you could throw linebacker there too still. They haven't touched it really, but other than bringing back their own guys. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at these positions. So we have interior offensive lineman. We do have Osiris Torrance. Steve Avila, can see that happening there. At the offensive tackle spot, if we want to throw that in there with guys that can go, we have DeJuan Jones and Anton Harrison. That's a name that has been picking up some steam of recent. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at linebacker. Linebacker, not really a whole lot at this particular spot. I mean, I like Henley. I got a chance to actually watch Jack Campbell. And by the way, keep an eye out on some of those Iowa guys because Dan Quinn actually went out to visit the prospects out at the Iowa Pro Day. So that is definitely a name you want to keep an eye out for. So I'll go ahead and head to the comments section, and also Trenton Simpson, John Michael Schmitz, but a bit too rich for my blood knowing how this draft has fallen. So what are we thinking, guys? Any particular names that you would really want to see here? While you're doing that, I'll go ahead and see what's going on here. Yep, exactly, Richard. We can relax. Forbes Avila, Hooker, McBride, Tavai Allen for this year and the next. Yeah, Robinson would be sweet, but boy, I don't know. I don't think he's going to be there. Anton Harrison, I think, can play. He can definitely get thrown inside. Philly just interviewed Vijan. Yep. If we're running the West Coast, we need some nasty O-linemen. I do agree there. I think that because I am a bit pressed for time here, I personally think Anton Harrison would be a nice pick here. You get a guy that you can plug into the interior, and he's definitely a very popular name in Cowboy circles. However, a lot of people are like, okay, so what about Osiris Torrance? Like, what about him? Well, conversations are coming out about him having a weight problem and, work ethic issues. That's what I've been having conversations with draft guys in private conversation, but he's still a hell of a player. So what I'm going to recommend, if we're kind of going best player available, I think we go Anton Harrison, because here's the thing. You need to solidify this offensive line. And right now, the Dallas Cowboys are positioning themselves to take another offensive line, which I'm not having a problem with. I think you take Anton Harrison, you get another young guy that you can plug in on the left side of that offensive line, and you can mix and match. If you want to put Tyler Smith at left guard and play Harrison at left tackle, that's fine. But if it were me, I'm putting Harrison at left guard. I think that's going to suit him best at the professional level, and just really boogie from there. So to kind of go from here, and Brian Breesy, by the way, a name that, I would be shocked if he's there, but I just think that you can get, for what the Cowboys need, they really need a one tech. I don't know if they would go with an interior defensive lineman in round one. I would be shocked if they do, because they haven't done that since Russell, Maryland. But let's go with Anton Harrison. We'll take the tackle here, and we'll move forward accordingly. So let's see. I heard Quinn wanted to personally see Will McDonald. Yes, that is a name you want to keep an eye out on as well in that process. Tight end, man, this draft class of tight ends is pretty... It is. Do you think Jones will draft a QB to put pressure on Dak? It depends on the round. I can see them going with Hendon Hooker as early as round 3. But I think it just depends on how the draft falls. They have not given Dak Prescott a contract extension, and for me, I don't really care at this point, because it's about what we do this year. The way the Cowboys are positioned is that if things fall out, they can hit the reset button in 2024, after 2024. But if you're trying to draft a guy to put pressure on Dak, that's a Hendon Hooker type of guy. Or the other guys that I've talked about on this channel, like Jalen Hall, like, they don't really move the needle. But I can't see the Cowboys drafting a Q. I mean, you should, but they did give what's-his-face money. They gave, oh my God, Cooper Rush money. So that kind of leads me to believe that if they're going to draft a QB, it's going to be like a late project guy, which I'm not a fan of. I would like Hendon Hooker to be here in Dallas, but it really depends on how the draft falls. And I saw Cowboys fans talking about Tanner McKee from Stanford. I mean, I think he's an intriguing prospect, but he's not my cup of tea for the quarterback position. Alrighty, so let's go ahead. We're at pick 58. We have Henley here. We do have Sam Laporta. I was in a space recently and they were talking about him. So let's take a look. So linebacker's a need. I think that you can't go wrong. At the running back spot. By the way, just because you picked up Ronald Jones and you re-signed Rico Dowdle doesn't mean that they're not going to draft a running back, but I don't think it's going to happen as early as this. Edge rusher guys, nah, no one there. I don't see them going after a wide receiver unless it's like a value they can't miss. And then quarterback, right now, I'm not interested in that. So I think that, and thank you, Richard, for bringing that up, because I did mention this. They did meet with Henley at the Combine, and I'm going to lean that way. If you have not watched Henley's tape, he's definitely a productive player that I think he could slip right. Like right now, the Cowboys need a guy. Like there's no question about it. So I'm gonna go with Henley here. I think he's one of the better players on the board. Yeah. So you take Henley here, you get a linebacker, and you move there. So I'm gonna just go with Dalen Henley there. A-Chain in the third. People told me how to pronounce that. I got to double check that again. But, yeah, I mean, I would definitely go with a running back in the third. We just kind of have to see how things go, right? 53 people watching. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's live stream. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell as well. For tuning into the inaugural show of Cowboys After Hours. If you wish to become a channel member today, you can hit the pinned comment, the join button. If you become a member, we're trying to get to 10 before the start of the NFL draft. So hopefully we get there. You get special perks like getting shout outs at the end of my videos. You get the green little check mark next to your name, as well as the green name in the stuff. I'm just also trying to focus on that too. But yeah, that's something to keep an eye out on. Yeah, literally no, but all running back in the first round. I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas brings in Deion Jones for a cup of tea and crumpets. Deion Jones is definitely a name to keep an eye out on. I like Deion Jones. I think with where he's at in his career, he's not at that same level. But like people keep talking about Wagner. Like, Space, have you heard anything on Wagner? And I can only go off of the conversations I had today. The Cowboys, if they go after Wagner, I would be shocked because the indication is that Wagner is out of the picture because they brought back LVE. And we'll get into the pick here in just a second. But I did talk about how they wanted to bring back Dante Fowler, and they did. I talked about how they want to bring back Hankins, and they should. I talked about all that. And I'm not trying to act like a know-it-all, but there are individuals that were like, oh, you don't know. I'm like, bro, I understand that may look like that, but just to be truthful with you guys. There are individuals I do talk to. I can't release their names because if I do, I get in trouble. But that's where it's at. When was the last time we had this good of a free agent pre-draft? Probably since the 90s, if I'm being honest with you. Okay, so let's take a look at this draft board here. So we have a couple names on here that I do like. Kind of just doing a quick little... Tajay Spears, really nice. But let's take a look at running back. Rashawn Johnson's a name as well. Kenny McIntosh, they met with him. They met with a couple of these running backs. And I think if it were me, I like Tajay Spears and also Deuce Vaughn's a name as well. Let's take a look at some other positions, guys. So, again, the quarterback position, you don't really have a guy there to take this early, so I'm not worried about that. Wide receiver, it's okay. Tight end, Luke Schoonmaker is a guy they did meet with, but I don't see them taking him at this point, just with how this draft is going. And to be real with you, I would just kind of roll with that. Like, if I don't get Dalton Kincaid in the first round, or if he's not an option, then I'm cool with what I got. Cornerback. It's okay, but I have other guys on the board. So I personally would look at it this way, is that the best player on this board for me that I would like would be either Dwayne McBride or a Tajay Spears. If you are going the running back route, which I can see the Cowboys drafting them early, it depends on how you're going to go about it. Just point blank period. So let me just double check tight end. I just don't see it, man. Like, I just don't see them taking a tight end this early or at all because they have those other guys. I'm just trying to think how the Cowboys would reasonably go about this. So you took Antoine Harrison in the first round, took Henley in the second round. So you took an offensive lineman and a linebacker. I mean, realistically, the only position that I could see them going early on is a wide receiver, a running back. Because that's kind of what people are indicating. So for me, let me just give me 1 second. I just got to take a look. Who's a power back though? Like, Dwayne McBride, probably not. Rashawn Johnson, that's way too rich for my blood. This is tough, man. Let me go see what the wide receivers. So, Marvin Mims might go day 2, actually. His name's been shooting up draft boards. But I don't need to take... do I need to take a wide receiver? No, not really. So, I'll have you guys help me out here because we're kind of getting close on time. Because, again, I can only do so much. And thank you guys for watching. So, let's kind of go through some options. So, at running back, you have Dwayne McBride, Tank Bigsby, Kendre Miller, Tajay Spears, Deuce Vaughn. If you want to talk about wide receiver only, Dell, Wilson, A.T. Perry, Parker Washington. If you're looking at the interior defensive line, here you go. Here's some of the names there. But again, that's a bit too rich for my blood. No power back, Ronald Jones. But right, like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know what the game plan is going to be with Ronald Jones. If you want a tight end, Luke Schoonmaker is there. Isn't Dell tiny? He is. I think he's 5'8". Tank Bigsby. What do you guys think? You let me know. I'll let you guys be the determining factor on this final pick. We'll have some fun here. So, I think I could do a poll on this, actually. Oh, I can. Ain't this neat? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do it between 3 options. Let me see here. I want to make sure I'm spelling this frickin' name right. So I got Schoonmaker. For me, or I heard Bigsby and Perry. There's the poll. You guys go ahead and vote. Go ahead and vote now. You should have the poll visible now. Let's go ahead and we'll see here. I'll give that about 2 or 3 minutes. Who's Bigsby? Tank Bigsby is a running back from the University of Auburn. One second, people were messaging me. I'm also just keeping an eye on. A lot of people want Bigsby here. Got 9 votes in. Life's crazy. What's going on, everybody? By the way, we have 64 people watching on this inaugural live stream. I thank everybody for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. And then one final thing. Hey, no, you're good, man. It's all good. This wasn't going to be a long live stream because I have things I got to take care of. But if you want to become a channel member, we are trying to hit 10 before the draft. Hit the link in the pinned comment and become a channel member today. Like and share it, fam. Thank you. I feel like Schoonmaker can make it to the 4th. He could. I've heard people like, oh, he'll go early. I'm like, I could see that, but I don't know. I haven't heard good things. Well, not that I haven't heard good things about him. It's just, I think after Dalton Kincaid, there's like a drop-off. So 14 people have voted, and I think we kind of see where this is going here. I'll give it another minute, but I think we're going to go with Bigsby here. Alrighty, that looks to do it. I'm going to end the poll. So we're going to go with Tank Bigsby there. Tank Bigsby. All you guys want to do that. So let's go Tank Bigsby. And then we'll go ahead and close this thing out. Alrighty, let's grade the draft. And they're giving it an A-. How would you guys grade? If this was the first 2 days of the draft for the Dallas Cowboys, what are you grading that? I'm giving that, with the value you're getting, I would give that maybe a B+A around there. What do you guys think? I've been drafting Bigsby in all my mock drafts. Gotcha. Let's see here. An A, Tyrone, gotcha. Sorry, someone sent me a tweet from Dan Rogers. He said the following, and I might have a show based off of Dan Rogers alone. Robbie Gold only makes sense if you don't believe in Dak Prescott. I believe in Dak Prescott, therefore I'm not throwing premier kicker cash at a kicker. I don't get this, dude. I can't, like, what? If we sign a cheap vet tight end sometime soon, this draft is an A-. Okay, you guys are pretty high on this. I'm sorry, I gotta respond to this Dan Rogers tweet. That is such a dumb fucking tweet. Robbie Gold only makes sense if you don't believe in Dak Prescott. I believe in Dak Prescott, therefore I'm not throwing my... That is... How the fuck do you come to a conclusion like that? Oh my god, dude. I just don't get that. I don't. Oh boy. But anyways, with that being said, I will open the floor up to last minute questions for the next 4 minutes, and then I gotta get on going. I got stuff to do. Would you go after tight end Irv Smith from the Vikings? I would. I think he would be a solid vet pickup, but I mean, I don't think it impacts how you're doing things now. Sure, let's just throw another rando out there, kicker, and see what happens. Like, right, like, that's so fucking dumb. That's what I'm saying, Tyrone. Like, I don't understand what his argument is. Like, he's saying, like, oh, if I spend money on the kicker position, that means that, like, what? I don't get it. They don't pay me enough for this. They don't pay me enough. No, I'm just kidding. I just don't get it, man. I was not happy with Dak's play. I mean, that's the thing, dude, is like, if you don't believe in Dak Prescott, then what you should be saying is, I hope the Cowboys don't extend him, which you can believe that. I personally don't. It's just a matter of where the team's at. If this is your all-in push and things don't work out and everything falls to shit for X, Y, and Z reasons, we got to fix those X and Y and Z reasons. But, dude, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Hey, what's going on, Mendoza? What's going on? I'm just about to head out. I wish I could do the show for an hour, but I have things I got to take care of. So, what I wanted to do, if you don't believe in him at this point, just trade the guy. Boom! Stevie Mac, comment of the day. I telling you right now, like, that is what my fundamental belief is. If you don't believe in the guy, get rid of him and just move on and tank for the next dude. What's this I hear about Gallup and a third for Hopkins? I don't believe it. I haven't heard anything about that. I don't believe that for the slightest. The Cowboys touched Gallup's money for a reason. They're not going to move him. I'd be shocked if they moved him. Like, if that's an all-in move, if I've seen one. That'd be crazy as shit. And to be real with you, like, you could just draft another dude. Man, that's saying a good QB can't have... Like, right, exactly, Jonathan. That's like saying a good QB can't have a good kicker. Like, it's like the QB is responsible for not having a good kicker. Like, what the fuck? Could have sworn Adam Vinatieri won a Super Bowl for the Patriots. Yeah, the Cooper Rush signing was insurance. I agree there. I think that, you know, if the quarterback position becomes a flux type of thing in 2024, because Dak's your guy in 2023, and if you don't extend him, then it's like, okay, that's fine. But, like, you have... Right now, we're talking about the 2023 season. Good's good. Well, that's really any quarterback. You need... Dak's good when he actually has weapons. Anyway, like, that's any quarterback. A quarterback needs, you know, weapons to operate. You saw that with Jalen Hurts this year. Dan Rodgers huffs... Oh, my fucking God. He huffs glue. Oh, my God. That is legendary right there. Let's see here. Dude, he's getting ratioed the shit on Twitter. I might just do a live stream just talking about Dan Rodgers. So here's what's going to happen. We have a show. Look to do something with Cole's Cowboys at 7 p.m. on whatchamacallit, 7 p.m. with Cole's Cowboys, right? We're going to just, do what we do there. I'm going to live stream it on my end so you guys can watch it too and give his channel some love. He's got about 400-ish subscribers, so we want to go ahead and help him out there. And also, it's, always love interacting with guys in this community. So stay tuned for that. Tom Brady had a great kicker doesn't mean anything. Right. Like, the quarterback contract or you believing in the quarterback doesn't correlate to the kicking situation. They're two separate things. So expect that coming up. I will let him know that's what I want to do, and if things change, I'll put it in a community post. So there's that. But this has been a fun inaugural live stream. We've been going live for about 40-ish minutes now. So if you are just tuning in, you can watch the inaugural episode of Cowboys After Hours in the VOD. Now, I'm going to actually see how the podcast playlist works. This is a first time for me. And you guys loved it. You guys came out and showed out. I'm really curious to see how the numbers look because I want to improve the live streaming game. And you guys, we hit over 60 people. We've got 55 likes on this. So this is going to be a regular thing. As long as you guys show up and show out, and I'm doing my part to make sure you guys are enjoying it. I'm not being, bad at what I do. Trust me, it's going to only go up from here. So once again, guys, thank you so much for everything. Love all you guys. And I will catch you guys in the next one. All right, guys? Have a good one. Goodbye.